Let me tell you about a boy born not in luxury, but in poverty. A boy who would one day shape industries, shape fortune, and shape lives. That boy was Andrew Carnegie. Born in 1835 in Dunfermline, Scotland, Andrew's world was filled with struggle from the start. His father was a weaver, but when machines replaced handcraft, his father's work vanished. The family had no wealth, no security, no future in their homeland. So they took a leap of faith. They sold what little they had. They crossed the Atlantic. They came to America, the land of opportunity. But opportunity does not hand itself to you. Opportunity demands that you fight for it. And fight is exactly what young Andrew did. At just 13 years old, Andrew went to work, not in an office, not in a classroom, but in a cotton factory. 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, $1.20. This was not a childhood. This was survival. Yet Andrew chose not to complain. He chose to learn. He chose to rise. From the factory, he moved to a telegraph office as a messenger boy. It was a small job to many, but to Andrew, it was a stepping stone. He memorized names. He memorized streets. He learned the language of the telegraph. He worked not just with his hands, but with his mind. And soon people noticed Andrew was not ordinary. He was hungry, he was disciplined, he was determined to rise. This is lesson number 1. Hard times are not your enemy. They are your foundation. Through effort and persistence, Andrew entered the Pennsylvania Railroad. There, under the guidance of Thomas Scott, he learned the business of America. He learned management. He learned investment. He learned that failure is not a wall, but a doorway. During the Civil War, Andrew proved his strength. He managed railroads and telegraph lines with courage and precision. He showed leadership in chaos. He showed vision in crisis. And when the war ended, he was ready to build. Andrew began investing, first in iron, then in oil, then in bridges. He stumbled, he failed, he took risks, but he never quit. And finally found his greatest vision, steel. Where others saw limitation, Andrew saw the future. Steel to build railroads, steel to build bridges, steel to build American self. With relentless drive, he built the Carnegie Steel Company. It grew and grew until it dominated the industry. Andrew Carnegie, the boy who once worked for $1 a week, became one of the richest men the world had ever seen. But here's the truth. Success was not the end of his story. Because real greatness is not just about what you earn. It's about what you return. Carnegie believed that wealth carried responsibility. He believed that the rich were merely stewards of their fortune. He said the man who dies rich dies disgraced. And he lived by that belief. He gave away over 90% of his wealth. He built more than 500 libraries. He funded universities. He supported science, peace, and learning. This is lesson number 2. Success is not measured by what you keep. It is measured by what you give. Now let's step back and see the full picture. Andrew Carnegie was born poor. He lived through hardship. He faced failures. He built success. And he left a legacy of learning and giving. What do we learn from him? We learn that poverty does not define your destiny. We learn that struggle is a stepping stone, not a stop sign. We learn that failure is not the whoever they are, remember this: Carnegie faced them too, and he turned them into greatness. When life is hard, remember Carnegie. When you fail, remember Carnegie. When success comes, remember Carnegie. He proved you can start with nothing and end with everything. He proved that you can turn hardship into hope. He proved that you can rise from the factory floor to the heights of industry. He proved that true greatness is not just what you achieve, but what you leave behind. So let this be your challenge. Stand strong in hard times. Push forward and struggle. Learn from failure. And when you succeed, lift others with you. That is the legacy of Andrew Carnegie. That is the path of true greatness. And that is the lesson for your life.